Jack Hermansson did not fraud check Joe Pyfer last weekend. Jack Hermansson taught Joe Pyfer last weekend. Now, a fraud check would be something to where I believe, this is my opinion, a fraud check is something where you're not really supposed to be to the level you're at. I thought Sean O'Malley was going to be fraud checked by Petr Yan. That's, you see, he's taking up a super high level of competition. Joe Pyfer had a learning experience against Jack Hermansson. In case you missed it, Jack Hermansson put on a clinic against Joe Pyfer at UFC Vegas, whatever number we're at now. It's time to get out of the warehouse, okay? But that fight right there showed that A, Jack Hermansson is still a tough competitor, and B, Joe Pyfer is still a dog. Okay, so yeah, let's break down this fight. So first things first, Joe Pyfer. Not, like I said, not fraud checked. As a matter of fact, he actually fought quite well for 2.5 rounds. Just so happens the other 2.5, Jack Hermansson fought better. That's it. That's all this was. There was no it wasn't like Joe Pyfer was out of this fight. As a matter of fact, throughout the whole fight, he pretty much looked like he could finish it. He was tired at the end of the 5 rounds, but it looked like his power was still there. Jack Hermansson ate some really, really, really hard shots, especially as the fight went on. Early, obviously, he was dropped, or not quite dropped. He was hurt, though, but that left hook from Joe Pyfer was on point. I mean, he really went out there and found a home for that left hook consistently. He really, he puts his whole body into it, really. It's a beautiful left hook. It comes straight across, and when he lands it, it is devastating. So is this the end for Joe Pyfer? No, I don't think it is. He moved to 12-3 on the night. He's got the win over Mearshart and Abdul Razak Al Hassan. He's just going to take a step back. So, I mean, he's not ranked. I don't know if the UFC has the new rankings out. Do they? It's Tuesday. They should. Let's see. He shouldn't be ranked. A win over or loss to number 11, Jack Hermansson would. Yeah. So Hermansson jumped Chimaev. Fluffy Hernandez went down, and Cal Baraha went up. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Joe Pyfer get a another opportunity at the ranked divisions, but like, who does he fight? He needs another win. He needs to find somebody out there that he can beat. Paul Craig, maybe, if he loses to Cal Barrio, that'd be a good win. Everyone's Bellator. Brad Tavares just lost on the weekend. That would be another one. Brunson's gone from the UFC. So, yeah, I mean, there's some good options out there for Joe Pyfer. Things that I like that he did, like I said, obviously the left hook is his best weapon. And he's real good with his power. But he also consistently found the leg, or I say consistently, he found the legs early on of Jack Hermansson. He quit doing it, and I don't quite know why. But guess what? That's the fight game. Jack Hermansson put him on the back foot. And that's one thing he needs to work on is fighting off the back foot. That's apparent. So if you want to beat Joe Pyfer, A, weather the early storm, B, put him on the back foot. Seems that Jack Hermansson figured out the game plan. And it's not like Joe Pyfer was undefeated coming into here. He's 12-3. He lost to Dustin Stolfus, who's a really good fighter. And then Jahanovan Patty, I don't know who that is, but that was a guillotine. Stolfus, where's he at these days? He's still in UFC. He lost to Abbas, of all people. Ugh, 19-second knockout. Oh, yeah, that was that front kick. That was actually super cool. But, like, man, I don't know where he goes from here. He's going to have to take some gimme fights. And it seems like, he was on Joe Rogan, and he had a lot of hype going for him, but at the same time, like, what was that hype for? He's on there calling Alex Pereira overrated. He's out there calling all of these middleweights just overrated. And I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? It sounds like you're putting the cart before the horse here and counting your chickens before they hatch, because you're talking about all these guys and they can beat you. Jack Hermansson can beat you. He's a trap fight. And that's what we got into here in this situation, is Jack Hermansson was a trap fight. Hermansson's proven in the past that, he's a tough fighter, and whereas he'll fight somebody that he shouldn't fight or lose to, like Roman Dolidze. He's got the Marvin Vettori loss to Sean Strickland and the Jarrett Cannonier. He lost to Thiago Santos because he was terrified of his power. And then, like, back in 2016, Cesar Ferreira. But, like, he won 4 straight against Talis Ladies, Gerald Meerschaert, David Branch, and Jacare. And it's like, oh, he's actually pretty good. Lost to Cannonier. Snatched up, what's that? Kelvin Gastelum's leg. Vettori beat him just by coming forward. It's hard to beat Vettori because like you have to really hit him hard, and he just keeps coming forward, and he's going to push you against the fence. And if I remember right, that's exactly what he did in that fight. Beat Edmund Shahbazyan, lost to Strickland via split decision. That was actually a close fight. Beat Chris Curtis. Roman Dolidze lost, and now he's back on Joe Pyfer. So he is officially on a, oh goodness, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fights in a row where he's win-loss. Yeah, so Hermansson's hands look very good this fight, actually. I was surprised. Not really. We've seen him do well with his hands in the past against Chris Curtis and Edmund Shahbazyan. He's not a powerful puncher, and he never will be probably a powerful puncher. He's more of a volume puncher who has a good wrestling game that you don't want to take down. Roman Dolidze took him down. That cool transition with the calf slicer, if I'm not mistaken, is what it was. But Dolidze's not going to respect your power because he's just going to keep winging punches. And Sean Strickland's not going to respect your power, and he's going to be really hard to hit. Hermansson did well against Strickland. Vettori, again, not going to respect your power. So if you can hit the body consistently like Jack Hermansson did, now he didn't have many like left hooks to the body, which I really like. But if you can have these consistent left hooks to the body, you can really go out there and cause some ruckus. And that's exactly what he did against Cannonier. I mean, against Joe Pyfer. I couldn't remember who he fought. But, there's points to where he was, double jabbing. And there's one that Jack Slack pointed out, and I caught during the fight too, where he jabbed, he faked the jab and kicked the legs. And if I pull up UFC stats right here, which I'm about to do, I think Hermansson had real good success to the legs too. Let's see. Leg strikes. Yeah, 32 of 38, he just poured on the volume per round, let's see. He ratcheted up. He's pretty consistent. That fourth round, he did the most with 10 of 13. The fifth round, he didn't have to because he had that late takedown. That's another thing. Jack Hermansson wasn't like straight chasing takedowns this fight. Instead, he was kind of just flowing with it using his hands. Once he got the sense that, okay, this power's not so bad, because Joe Pyfer had a lot of hype coming up to where, he broke Francis Ngannou's record at the UFC PI, yada, yada. Joe Rogan Experience, he went on there and he was talking all this. There was a lot of pressure on Joe Pyfer, but there was also a lot of pressure on Jack Hermansson coming back at him. So Hermansson, he weathered the early storm. Was there an official knockdown? Don't see it. Hold on. Nope, no official knockdowns, but he did have Hermansson hurt in that first round. And it was good on Jack to see him kind of come back and do his thing. It was great. Dan Ige was next on the card. We're not going to talk about the whole card tonight, y'all. I'm tired of these Apex events. We got a good card this weekend, but yeah. Dan Ige earned his $50,000. Get it? $50K, Dan Ige. He wants bonuses. With a 2-minute and 43-second knockout of Andre Touchy Fili. And that fight, it's kind of weird. Dan Ige is really good until he faces somebody that's good, and then he's not good at all. Like, he just crumbles. Like, to give you an example of, like, the names he's beat and the names he's lost to. So, like, Andre Fili, he lost to Bryce Mitchell. Not very good, but at the time, he seemed like he was good. Nate Landwehr, Damon Jackson, he beat. Lost to Movsar Evloev, Josh Emmett, and Korean Zombie. Beat Gavin Tucker, which we thought was going to be, the next big thing. Lost to Calvin Kattar. Surprisingly, beat Edson Barbosa. That was actually a close split decision. That was his featherweight, Dan Ige's featherweight debut, actually, and I thought he won that. But yeah, let's see. Julio Arce lost. So yeah, we're getting way back in time on these. Oh, he fought on Pancrase? That's weird. Okay. But yeah, Dan Ige, just 1-2. He times in the step in of Andre Fili and gets the knockout. It was actually really fun. The card desperately needed some finishes, and that was the finish that we needed. And thank God Dan Ige did the thing, because that was just a rough card altogether. Ior Portiera beat the Polish guy. That was great. Gregory Rodriguez knocked out Brad Tavares. Michael Johnson beat Darius Flowers. Rodolfo Vieira beat Armin Petrosyan after Armin Petrosyan did the Brazilian tap. You know, the whole, I didn't tap. And then, yeah. Bolaji Oki is a really good prospect, won by split decision. And then, you know, obviously we got one of my favorites, Loma Lookboonmee, because Dominic Cruz fussed about the, the K being silent to Daniel Cormier. God, Cruz is just miserable. Sounds like he hates it. Sounds like he hates his job. But anyways, Loma Lookboonmee looked real good. She beat Bruna Brasil, and Bruna, she looks like she's a good fighter. She moves like she's a good fighter, but she's not. It's weird. Lookboonmee moved to 9-3. I mean, not a great record for somebody that has her background, but she's still good, you know. Lost to Angela Hill and Lupe Godinez, but she's 3 on the trot now. Elise Reed, Denise Gomez, and Bruna Brasil. I wasn't mad at it. You know, a lot of things like Loma Lookboonmee does, she steps through. She obviously she got the Muay Thai background. That's her claim to fame. But she'll step through on the strikes to orthodox or to southpaw, whatever stance she's in. Especially with the push kick, she'll throw the push kick, step through, and then she'll land in orthodox or south, the opposite of where she's at. And she did that against Bruna Brasil, and Brasil just really couldn't find range. She had an 8-inch, 4-inch something, a stupid reach advantage, and she didn't know what to do with it. So yeah, I don't know. Weird fight. I didn't want to spend too much time on this card though, but you know, I had to get it up because we talk about fights here. Mardi Gras was in the way, and then obviously the Super Bowl. That's why I didn't record Monday. Sunday, I don't know. Anyways, guys, Fight Finders episode 3 almost done. We followed Ike Villanueva around in his training camp, and we also went to the fight itself to see if he could become a heavyweight champion in bare knuckle boxing. So that'll be out this week, probably Thursday. Also, I think I'm going to do a preview on Alexander Volkanovski and Ilia Topuria. We haven't done a preview on this video on this YouTube channel in a long time, so it'll be nice to get back to that. Eventually, I want to do them on every card, but this time, that's what these notebooks are for. I can go back and look at what I thought about the fights. I got this is my thoughts. Is this good or bad? And once they start cycling through, I think I started redoing this at PFL's 10, the Collard Olivier Aubin Mercier. And then, obviously the David Benavidez fight. Anyways, y'all don't care about that. All right, guys, that's going to be it. Drop the follows everywhere because I would appreciate it. Fight Finders 3 coming out soon. Later.